Lakes, plains, and prairies, Rocky Mountain highs fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all. Hell, it's all a way of life. We're the last of the cowboys. Giddy up, gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete. It's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James. Modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. It's a family tradition. Diesel's running through our veins. Our daddy showed us the roads. We were born in the fast lane. Branded by our heroes, taught to saddle up and move. We keep this country rolling. We're damn proud of what we do. We're the last of the cowboys. Giddy up, gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete. It's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James. Modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Third time generation. Little old school salvation. Blazing trails across this nation. Sea to shining sea. We're the last, we're the last, we're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. The giddy up go boys. 18 wheels on the concrete. It's slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James. A modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Modern day outlaw game. We're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys.
Love it. Love it. Love it. The way it turned out. All right. Sorry it took so long. It was taking forever to upload the new intro. Let me know if y'all really like the new intro. I thought it was pretty cool. A lot more new graphics that were added into it. So I'm hoping it turned out real well. So tonight, I'm going to start doing my shows on Sunday. We found out that it's doing a little better on Sunday. I ended up getting a little more viewers, and people are liking it a lot easier because it's time for them. They can wind down. They're sitting there on the weekend. They can sit here and watch the show and enjoy themselves. I was going to have a special guest on tonight, but I guess he's gotten busy and he was not able to make it. So we'll hope for it next weekend. We'll try to get him on. I was going to have Shaggy Consultants on, and I was going to get Frank G on. But like I said, I've been busy trying to get all this other work done and stuff like that. Tonight, I want to give you guys the new news that's coming out. I know everybody's not wanting to hear it. I have been doing a lot of research on it, trying to get up on it and seeing what's going on. So we'll go ahead and jump into this and start getting into it. I'm going to go ahead and add it on. I want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Who else? There's quite a few people on there. John and all you guys, thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. Give a shout out to Hot Wheels. I heard you got to work with your hero or hang out with your hero today. I seen the pictures. Pretty cool. So just messing. So everybody was talking about the Teslas. We've been on Teslas for the last couple of weeks. And I know not everybody wants to hear about the Teslas. All right, Tesla cars are catching on fire, bursting in spontaneous flames, all kinds of different stuff that's going on. Yeah, we know, and we understand that because they still ain't been able to figure out why or how to get it to not interact with salt water or chlorine or chloride, different stuff they're going to be putting down for the wintertime. So you're going to start seeing a lot more of this problem. I'm just hoping what I'm fixing to put out here, because it's been made official through the EPA. So this is where I found most of this. It was on the EPA. And then I went over to CDL Life. And thanks to CDL Life, this is for educational purposes, that what I'm fixing to pull up. So here we go. Tesla newly announced semi-truck delivery dates may actually be real this time, thanks to the EPA green light. And they are going to be real because guess what? The dates on those right there. Well, right there. Dates on those right there, starting November the 1st of 2022. Pepsi Cola, which is PepsiCo, is getting the first 250 of them. They actually getting their first set of trucks. So just to let you know, they are getting them, and they are going to be sitting here running them out. So let's bring it up here, and we'll go into it. Oh, why are you doing that? There we go. Get out there. Why'd you do that? I don't know. There we go. Now let's get into it. The Environmental Protection Agency, which is the EPA, has given the green light to the Tesla semi-truck, making the company the most recent estimated truck delivery date look more real. According to the Inside Eves, Elon Musk announced earlier this month that Tesla semi-truck deliveries are slated to begin December 1st, but they have talked about being November 1st. But December 1st is what they got here. December 1st with Pepsi Cola are as the first fleet customers to receive the electric rigs. This is at least the third time the company has announced as an immediate semi-truck delivery, with the announcements also made in 2020 and 2021. However, this time may be different, as the company has gotten the go-ahead from the EPA for their new electric semis. EPA granted the Tesla semi a certificate of conformity on September the 29th, which will remain valid until December 31st of 2023. So they got the green light for a whole year. Just a little over a year and a month. This means that the Tesla now has an official permission to distribute their electric semi-trucks. Like I said, this is where we're going to run into the issues. The EPA states that every class of heavy-duty vehicles, non-road engines, introduced into the commerce in the United States, in the U.S., must have a certificate of conformity, and they are valid for only one model year of production. So, on that note, what do y'all think? I'm just saying. Just by that right there. So they're finally giving the EPA is finally giving them the green light to say, hey, go ahead. So Elon Musk can now start sending out his trucks and start sending them out, and we can start seeing them. Like Kelly says Pepsi in Tallahassee has 2 already sitting on their yard. Yeah, I know. Some of them have already been delivered, but they haven't been able to use them until this certificate that lets them do what they're doing. What was that? Watching you on my big screen. Hey, I'm glad you're watching me on something. Just make sure you keep it back, because earlier when I went to go live, I started it and I ended up, what I did was when I hit the mics, because I have a new sound system for the laptop system, so I can hear the sound and everything else a little better, so I'm not messing myself up. And it actually linked into Mama's TV. And yeah, needless to say, Mama wasn't happy when she seen my face pop up and then hear me speaking. It scared the crap out of her. She's like, "What the hell's going on?" So yeah, she thought a gremlin took over her TV. So I was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll get it fixed." But yeah, so on the Tesla battery issues, these have the exact same batteries that we're dealing with. That's in the cars that are busting into flames now because a little bit of salt water, and here we are coming into winter. We're already getting snow in the Northwest. They've already seen it. They're already getting heavy snow. And then here we are. These trucks are going to be all over. There's 250 of them being distributed out. So where are they going to fully go? Are they just going to keep them in the southern states for now and see what happens? Or are they going to go up? I mean, yeah, I know, Michael, that was pretty funny. I mean, she didn't think it was funny. I thought it was funny, but she didn't think it was funny. She really didn't. Scared the crap out of her. But I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, "Don't worry about it. I got it fixed." But yeah. You say not good and bigger skill of boom hole in the ground. Yes. That's what my thoughts are too. My thoughts are, is this going to be able to handle, or do they have the treatment for it yet for them to be able to handle the chloride, the salt, and the other chemicals that they put out on the ground to get the ice to melt off the interstate and off the highways and bridges? So you figure a car throws up a little bit, but then you're talking about a semi, 10 wheels. These things are slinging salt, this chemical all over the motors, the wheels, and the brakes, up on the batteries, because the batteries sit in between the frame. They're in a motor, and they're throwing them in there. So are we going to run into a bigger boom? Are these things going to take out the whole interstate? Is that what we're looking at? I mean, what's up, Mr. Roger McDucky? And he says, boom, playing, pow, thumbs up, waving, fist bump. Love you, brother. But, I mean, this is what we're saying. Are we going to run into the same situation that we're running in with these cars? And I've asked. They can't give me an answer. Cannot give me an answer. If these are going to run the same way as the cars. They're saying it's got better protection. It's all shielded. Well, so are the cars. These things are shielded underneath with the chassis, in between the chassis with a skid plate underneath, plus with a with the actual shell sitting on top of it. So they're shielded, but they're still getting salt and everything in them. So, I mean, it's just like anything. You're going to get salt, dirt, and grime up in between the frames in places you never thought you'd see it. That's the reason why this stuff eats out your corner panels on your trucks and your cars, and you get fender rust, because these things get up in there and you can hose them out. But if you don't clean them, it sits in there and it starts rusting. So are we running into the same situation? Are we going to run into the same thing and watch these things go boom? Just saying. I mean, it's just like what we're dealing with now. I mean, we sat there and seen, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where one of the Tesla trucks that they had out running, and it sat there and died out right in the middle of a on-ramp in the turn. Trucks are having to go around it. They're trying to figure out what's wrong with it and fix it. Roger McDuck says, yes, same problems, including more equipment controlled by computers that fail. My point exactly. I mean, this stuff is not built to handle this type of condition. It's meant for what we have now. You know how many cars that we have that have electronics that are having issues? It's like the Kias. Kias are being recalled left and right because you can sit there and take not a key fob, but like a lighter striker, the magnetic striker, and hold it to the ignition. And you can strike that a few times and it'll cause an interference and an interruption, and they're still in the cars. Or you pop the button out and you can On some of them, you can actually pop the button out, and within 30 seconds, they're showing this stuff all over YouTube. Now they're doing a nationwide recall on them to try to change them up, put some type of security theft device on them. I mean, things with electronics that have technology in them, yes, they're good for certain things, but people have figured out it's easier to steal it or easier to have more problems with it because they don't look at the other stuff that goes along before they throw it out there. And yes, our government really sucks on keeping this stuff done. You know, it's bad when Florida fire departments are asking the federal government how to deal with these lithium batteries out of these cars, and then trying to figure out where is a secured recycling area to recycle these batteries to keep them from blowing up. I mean, this is the stuff that we got going on, and now here they are the EPA is gonna say, yeah, go ahead, push it. We're giving you the permission. Send it. Like like Michael says, semi and the stuff gets cooked, gets caked into every nook and cranny. They have no idea what's going to happen until one goes. And you're right. It's a ticking time bomb. Like Roger says, it's an epic lawsuits. Epic lawsuits. The lawsuits are going to be going out like crazy. And, you know, he just got sued for not buying Twitter, and he just bought Twitter. And yes, he's cleaning it up, but still, $44 billion. I think he's got more than that with issues on just these cars, with these batteries. People bought these cars. Now they're blowing up, burning up, restarting on fire, even after they're put out and they're still catching on fire. And then here you are going to be sitting, all right, I'm out of the car and you want me to go buy another electric car. Our government's telling you to go buy another electric car. Why? Why do I want to buy an electric car when I got this crap right here? This crap right here. See, old-fashioned diesel motor, diesel exhaust. Half the issues. All right, and I can't sit there and say diesel don't catch on fire too, because these things have electrical issues in them too. Like I said, Gary Jones Sr., luckily that driver seen what was going on, helped him and woke him up and got him out of the truck before he burned up in it. I've seen the videos to that too. And Gary Jones Sr., we're glad you made it out and you're still here, brother, because you can always build another truck. You just can't build another one of you. I mean, unless you count Gary Jones, but you know, just saying, Gary, love you, brother. But yeah, Roger McDuck says the F-14 requires 20 man hours for maintenance for every hour flight time. This is going to be the same. I think it's going to be more than that. I think it's going to be at least a 70-hour deal. I think it's going to be somewhere in between 50 to 70 hours maintenance time for every week that truck is out. So you figure if that truck's out for 2 weeks running, it's going to come back. It's going to be down for 2 weeks because they're going to have to do maintenance and everything. If not, it's going to be down a week. It's going to be down a full 70 hours to do full maintenance, everything. And then you're going to have someone special to clean these things, especially in the wintertime. Yeah. What's up, Joe? Brother Joe, what are you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, we're talking about these new Teslas that just got the green light from the Tesla semis, just got the green light from the EPA. EPA gave them the green light to go ahead and have a certificate to start putting these things on the road. Pepsi-Cola is the first company that's getting their 250. They're the first ones. And then you got, let's see, Peterbilt's supposed to be getting some. Kenworth is supposed to be getting some for trying them out. I think what they're going to do is they're going to get them and see where they can make changes on their own. You know, they got the new Peterbilt the Super Rig 2. That looks pretty sharp. And there's a few people on here that have said they would drive one. It's not a bad looking truck. I just wish they would have done it a little more different, just a little bit look wise. But it's a hybrid. It's not a full electric. Yeah. And like Michael says, wouldn't be able to afford the payment for an electric one, let alone the current to charge it. Yeah. I mean, they're not telling you what the bills are on what it is to charge the cars. And the cars are going anywhere to, I think it's anywhere from $1.75 to $2.80, something like that per kilowatt that it's using to charge that car. And then these superchargers, they are using a lot. They have used up to 15 to 20. So you can just imagine you're almost paying your house bill to charge this thing in your electric bill. And if you got the setup in your house hooked up to your power grid to your house, your electric bill just doubled. In some cases, it's even tripled. Yeah. Just from what I'm hearing and what I have read some people talking about the Teslas and what they're having issues with. Michael says, not everyone has $1 million lying around either. No, you're right. None of us. The actual working folks do not have $1 million laying around to be able to play with stuff like this. We really don't. We really can't afford it like everybody else. You know, the ones that you see buying this are the ones that are, I would say, brainwashed into this is going to be the future. And then they're having issues because when stuff goes wrong with those cars, they're not able to even get them fixed. I see 2 right now here in Johnson City at a dealer can't get fixed. I mean, they can get fixed. They don't have the money to fix them. They really don't. They're like, yeah. Hello, Alicia. How you doing, dear? I love the artwork. It's still looking pretty. Love it. Like to get some more stuff. Maybe put them on something else. Got some other ideas coming up. So just to let you know there, girlfriend. Roger says 10 to 15 minutes to refuel diesel. How long is it to fully recharge a Tesla or a Nikola? Well, a Tesla fully charged 30 minutes. But that's if you're at a quarter. Full charge from empty to full, they're saying anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And some people are like, well, I can do this because it's at a, well, I can tell you right off the interstate, if you're coming through Virginia, coming into Tennessee on 81, we have a place called the Pinnacle. It's got a whole bunch of different shops and little restaurants in it. There's probably, I'd say 15 to 20 Tesla charging systems, the supercharging systems in there. So if you're running low, you can pull in there and start charging them. And the reason why they're putting them in the places like this, so if it takes an hour, they can go in and go eat and hit the little shops. So it's making it convenient. It's getting them out to buy things. And seeing there's a problem. So now you're waiting on fuel, and now you're going in to buy it. So it's no different than being at a truck stop with a diesel and sitting there and you go, all right, I got 30 minutes. It's going to take 20, 30 minutes to fill this thing. So you sit there and do that, and then you go in, use the restroom, take a shower or whatever, get something to eat. All right, so you got an hour cooked. Same thing. Sorry, my bad. That come out of nowhere. But yeah, this is what we got going on. So yeah, I know. And then we got, I will let you know. Trust me, I will let you know because there's some things in the works. Thank you. And I appreciate it. Miss Lisa said, bless me. Michael says, looks as good as the one hanging on the wall. Yeah, I know. It does, don't it? Yep. Michael's got the board hanging up on his. He's got that exact same picture because he couldn't hang on to a business card. So now he sees what he remembers what he has to get. Just saying. Love you, brother. But yeah, so what are we going to get into the technology of this? I mean, are we going to do something different with the batteries? Because I was reading up back in the 1910, I want to say, about By the way, I want to thank Mr. Van Brown. This is the new Bull Snot hats. I do have the originals, but these are the new ones. Just to let y'all know. Hang on. I got that right here. Hang on. Didn't think I was getting into all this, but I had to change hats. The other one was just a little too tight, and I didn't feel like messing with it. And I like this one, stands out a little better. So on this, what are we going to get into the technology of? What are we going to do to make these things better and protect them instead of them sitting there going, "Okay, well, it's good to go." EPA says it's good because it's not going to cause any corrosion, and we gave you a certificate. But what are we going to do, and what can we push? Like the megas, why can't we push the same thing? All right. I can tell you right now, the megas are going to push for these electric trucks. That way they can use them for short relays. This is the way they can do relay mans. Well, when you go with these electric trucks, then you can set them up for GPS and you can run them. Same thing you can with a diesel, but it's easier with the electric because everything's already there. It's already got the system on board. It's a full computer. The tower on that truck is about the size, a little bit like the mid-size of a mini fridge that would go in a semi. That is the tower. And that's just to control the motor, the wheels, and the cameras and sensors. I'm telling you, how are we going to do this, and how are we going to figure out to make these things better? Because they need to put more effort into this and go, hey, sorry, we're not playing this game. You're playing with our lives out here. You're playing with people's families. Because let's say you're out in the snow. Let's say you're out in Wyoming. You're running through Wyoming. You got high winds. You got snow blowing everywhere. You're in a whiteout. You already know they've been out there salting, chemicaling, making everything, trying to get the road safe. You get through, you get parked at a truck stop because you can't make it any further. Then you get in and you're sitting in this truck. Well, it's got to stay running to be able to produce heat because it's an all-electric truck. All right, so what are we going to do? Is this thing going to catch on fire? Is it going to get piled up with snow and it can't breathe? Because, electronics, they got to have room for the fans to breathe. And it's just not a fan in the front like a diesel. A diesel, we have plenty of air underneath and above and around to keep that engine cool. But we also have enough to keep the heat running because it's running off of the antifreeze and water out of it to run the bunk heater and then your actual heating system in the front of the cab so you can keep your truck running. And it'll help melt the snow from the heat of the engine. What is this electric truck going to do? I mean, what are the things that this thing's going to do when it comes to snow? I mean, you get parked up. Now you got all those chemicals underneath there. Is it going to be like these cars sitting in salt water? Because basically that's what it's going to be if it's got snow packed up underneath it, because there ain't no transmission, so it can blow up and rotate underneath. It can rotate around them fuel cells. So now you got it all around these fuel cells, and then you get into all these nicks and crannies, and then you got salt and everything. This thing, I guarantee you, on its first couple of trips through the snow, this thing is going to turn into a ticking time bomb when it has to sit because they shut down the sisters or the cabbage or something like that where it's running through because they're putting it on a test run and saying, oh, yeah, this can do it. All right, let me get over here to the comments real quick. Sorry, guys. Kelly says, I'll keep my K-Dub with the comments. I don't blame you, brother. I'd be doing the same thing. Should be a show because rumor has it that they're charging truck stops every 150 miles apart across I-10 to El Paso, Texas to LA. Might be. It's going to take a lot more. They're going to have a lot more of a power grid. Roger says, just like my pics of the Nikolai of the Nicolite that manufactured here in Arizona, my cousins has been delivering them to Cali every month. See, they're delivering them out there. So I guess they're gonna be a seasonal truck or warm weather truck. I mean, it's just like what we have for some drivers. You're going to have a seasonal truck. They don't want to run in the cold and the rain and the snow, so they stay in the southern parts. So that's a warm weather driver. And then when summer hits, then they go back and run all 48 if it's possible. What's up, Glenn? And I mean, I'm not putting down drivers. I really ain't, because I mean, I know quite a few of them. Trucking Unicorn. She's a sweetheart. The girl can drive a truck. The girl can work on a truck. She owns her truck. She's been a driver for 3, going on 4 years now. As she claims, she's still a rookie. We're all still rookies. But here's the thing. She don't want to play in the snow. She lives in Minnesota, in Minnesota, you know. Yeah, up there. But she's staying down here in North Carolina and running the southeast and the southwest, running just in these areas to keep from being up there in the cold and the rain, because, you know, it's a lot of stress on her. It's a lot of wear on her truck, and she's trying to do her truck up right, which makes sense. But are these trucks going to be set up the same way? Are they just going to be able to run from Florida? I'm just giving the basics, samples of running from Florida to North Carolina. It snows in North Carolina. It snows here. We run chemicals. We run chemical salt, and then we run regular salt on our roads here. So if it looks like it melted real quick, it's because we're running the chemical across it, and it does really good. They run the chemical, and then they come back with about an hour later, and then they got a salt truck that comes behind it. And then after that, they don't deal with it for a few hours, but they set on it at every one of the off ramps. And if there's any problem, anything that looks like there might be a buildup, then they'll jump out there and take care of it. But like we were saying, are these trucks going to run to North Carolina and then shoot back? Are they going to, because it snows in Georgia sometimes. So, and then you got the southern states. So that means it's going to run from, and see, like last year we had a bad year. Last year it snowed and iced in Texas. And look how bad that became. Because they didn't, and I hate to say it, Texas wasn't on the ball. They didn't get their stuff out there in time to keep the stuff taken care of. But then you got these trucks going to run. I mean, I understand. I know, what is it? Insure, and there's a couple others that are running autonomous trucks. They're semi-autonomous, but they're diesel. They're diesels with automatics, but they're running them. That I can see they can run those because it's not going to have any issues. They're not having half the electrical problems. They're working them out now. But these newer trucks that are fully electric, and we already see what Tesla's doing. We see what it's becoming. They're becoming ticking time bombs. And now here we are going to release, the EPA says we can release these trucks. What is the EPA saying about these batteries on these cars? No comment. Look it up. No comment. As of this morning, there was no comment from the EPA on the pollution that these batteries are putting out when they're catching on fire, just in Florida. And it don't affect Florida that bad because it is a peninsula, and it's surrounded by water, but it's got the ocean breeze that blows across the state. So it don't stay there like smog does in California. What happens if these things are doing it in California? You know, we had the electric bus that caught fire and burned. It took them, what was it? I think it was almost 30,000 gallons of water, I believe is what it was. 30,000 gallons of water, and it took them almost 4 hours to 5 hours to put this thing out because it kept reigniting itself. Yeah. So if it's doing it with the buses, what makes you think these trucks ain't going to do it? And then here you are driving along, and then you get into snow, wind, high winds. Even high winds, they tell you to park them. I mean, you come out of snow, you're doing fine, the road's salted, you're good. It'll drive down, and then you get into high winds, you have to pull over. Now that all that snow and salt's melting down into these protective cavities and everything that these things are getting into, Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, these things are just. All right, let me get back over here and get all these comments. Roger says everything is increased in plastic. This is one way was pretty cool. Yeah, the new Peterbilt was pretty cool. And if you're talking about the Nikolai, I mean, they look pretty decent. Hello, Teddy Bear. How you doing tonight, sir? Let's see. While I was on the East Coast last week, I did see several Tesla charging stations at some of the truck stops. Yeah, they're slowly putting them in because they're trying to get them ready for these trucks and getting them done. And Roger says city delivery to test. All right, so they're testing them out in the cities. Well, it's like or certain parts of Orlando. It's a what they want to call an electric city. These things they have electric driverless buses. They had one, I want to say 2 years ago, had one that ran over pedestrians. The camera didn't pick it up, even though it looks a little larger than a 12-seater golf cart, but it was all solid glass. It had cameras, and it still ran over the pedestrians that were trying to get on it. I mean, things like that. Glenn says, "Oh, and happy late birthday. Hope you had a good one." Whose birthday were you talking to? Because I didn't have a birthday yet. My birthday ain't until February. Just letting you know, brother. But if it's one of these, unless you're talking about Roger McDuck or one of them, could be. John Free says Gary Pateller needs prayers tonight. Sick in the hospital. All right. Well, we'll be praying for him, John. We'll make sure he's doing all right. Yeah, and I know Gary because he comments a lot on a lot of the stuff that's posted in the groups and some of the stuff that's posted on the page. Michael says the only place I see them running because cold definitely is going to affect the batteries. Always does, and it does. I mean, hell, I got to go out here and replace 2 batteries in the dually because I let it sit. I've been driving the new truck, and I was giving it a break because I've happened to do motor mounts and some other things. And I went to go out there and fire it up today, and it's dead batteries. Both of them fried. I got to go replace them. I even stuck them on the charger and did a trickle charge. They wouldn't even take a charge. Really, John? Really? Eating crab. Shame on you, Glenn. I can't blame you, John. I guess I got to blame Glenn because he's out there eating crab. Well, he might be eating crab. Could be. When they better catch on when they better catch on fire, it's putting all kinds of garbage into the air. It's polluting the air. You're right, John. And they are polluting the air. But what is the EPA standards? I mean, it's like the fire department's having to figure out from the government what to use to put these things out and keep them from reigniting. I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, if they're saying fire foam ain't going to do it, fire foam ain't going to be able to put them out because if that's so, you'd be seeing them run around with fire foam. But the fire foam for planes ain't putting these things out because it's like a chemical reaction. It just keeps it burning even more. Water puts it out, but you can't add salt. Anytime you got a gas fire, electric fire, you can always throw salt on it. It will. Why it works that way, I don't know. But I know salt conducts electricity, and you can actually put it out. It will conduct it and hold it, keep it from burning. But if salt is causing them to catch on fire, then what can we do to change this? Because that means every driver that gets in one of these trucks is knowing he's maybe taking his last ride because he's in a ticking time bomb. And it don't matter if it's fall, winter, or spring because it still snows. And they still got salt and everything even in spring until you get a couple of good doses of rain for it to wash away. And then, all right, here's another good example. I will give you another one. Elisa says, I think the CDC and the EPA are kin to each other. They are. It is what it is. Glenn says, my electric truck rolls bubbles and sounds like the Jetsons car take off. Yeah, I think it does. Glenn. I think it's got that little running through it. I think it does. Roger says, I sent pics to your Facebook Messenger. All right. I'll take a look at them real quick. I know I'm trying to do all this and trying to be nice to everybody else. Well, as soon as it decides to wake up and it decides to do its job, because as you can see, it's just rotating. Yeah, it don't want to play with me today. So as soon as it figured out its own mind, we'll look at it. Glenn says, I was drunk a couple days and I thought I'd seen it was your birthday. Well, I'm early then. Yeah, no, brother, I appreciate it. No, it wasn't my birthday. It may have been something else. Hey, there's my brother from another mother. What's up, Mr. Frank G from Frank G Trucks? What's up? Hey, Lefty, please send a little, yes, for your friend Vance's family, lifelong friend. We lost unexpectedly Tuesday night. All right, man. Prayers. Everybody give some prayers to the Vance. Vance family, please. I believe it was on a motorcycle, wasn't it, Frank? I think so. I think I was reading that on there. I think we were reading about that just the other day when I was looking at your. I was looking at what was going on Frank G's Trucks page. John says, oh man, they are really popping in right now. Oh, he had a heart attack, never saw it coming. Damn. Sorry about that, Frank. Yep. It does suck. Glenn says, prayers to the family, Frank. I know quite a few of us are going to send prayers to the family. It sucks when something like that happens. Just like we had a coworker, I've known him for 5 years. Really funny guy, everything else. He was doing great. Went home on a Tuesday night. Somebody said they couldn't get a hold of him. They was wondering why he wasn't at work. And they went to his house, tried to call him, knock on the door, no answer. So they did a wellness check and opened up the door. And when they did, they found him in the floor, and they figured he'd been there all night he had a stroke, from what the coroner said. So, I mean, yeah, it really sucks. So that's what's going on. All right, let's get back to John. Just the flames from the batteries itself is very explosive. Yes. And yeah, it is. And that's the reason why we're trying to figure out what can be done. What are we going to use to make sure these things are safe? Because they're already if they're bringing them out in December 1st, we already got some of them that are sitting in Tallahassee. I believe one or two may have arrived here. They were supposed to arrive last week, but I'm not sure here at this PepsiCo. I will know in the morning because I got to drive right by the plant, and I work by the other Coca-Cola plant. I know both of them have got electric trucks coming, but they have already announced that PepsiCo is the first ones getting them. So we will definitely check on that and see what's going on. Worse than death because the death fuel, of very deadly chemicals in the smoke from burning batteries. It really is. I mean, which one would you rather have? I guess this is the way they're saying it. What do you want? You want burning batteries? You can die from the chemicals, or they can catch on flames just from the fumes, or in spontaneous bust, or do you want to deal with death that will eat your skin, but it makes a mess out of your truck, but then it eats your fuel system, and eats up your exhaust system, and here you are spending 10 to 15 grand to replace your charcoal box, your filter inside the muffler, and the regenerator, blah, 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 all that crap. I mean, it's just, what are we going to be looking at? Michael says, sent you a load pics to your phone. Thank you. Yep. Frank, Mike sending prayers. Praying for you. Justin says, Justin Williams, we're graced by the King. King Dingaling. Yes. You be working. Yes, I am working. I'm working very hard at it. I'm working very hard of sitting here talking to everybody and seeing what we got going on. Glenn says, Justin Williams, I took the weekend off. They had a fair next door to my house, so I partied all weekend. So we know what Glenn was doing. No Justin. No Justin. Nope. It's a good thing because if he was working on his brakes, Justin, we know what would happen. He'd have done put the wheels back on, forgot the brake pads and the drum. Just saying. Just saying, Glenn. You weren't even partying and you were at Justin's house doing that. Do we want to go there? No, but those are good guys right there. Really are. Justin Williams, right now I am dunking a tank. Yep. Today I'm trying to recuperate for the week. Glenn, it's going to take more than one to do that, especially if you're talking to Justin. I'm just saying. Justin Williams. Oh, and by the way, I did not send out a link, but I will be putting out a link if you all want it. I didn't put it out there, but I will send it to you or put it out in the page, or I'll put it in the chat. It ain't really that hard for me to do that, and I can do that. Glenn says, it was the drum. I had one on the other side, so I was good. It was a drum. I know you only had one drum on there. Yeah, I know. You forgot the drum and put everything back together. You were good to go. Just like your rocket fuel for your electric truck that you were fixing to leave his house with. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So, Michael says, have to get together and have a few cold ones sometime, Glenn. That's from Michael. So, yeah, we'll have to do that too. And no, not this time. I will buy dinner. Fucker. Oh, excuse my language. Just saying. But, but the whole deal is, what are they going to do to compensate for us drivers with these trucks? I mean, come on. There's only so much you can do. And we already seen, how long has the cars been, how long has the cars been out? Cars have been out, what? 8, 9 years now? 10 years? Been out 10 years, and here we are having spontaneous explosions, catching on fire, spontaneous fires. I mean, I've known a couple of them that have sat there and got tow trucks. I mean, somebody's got to pay for it. The insurance is paying for it, but, you're dealing with a truck. Now you got an $80,000 tow truck sitting here burnt because it done scorched the bed, ruined the bed. So now you're looking at another $20,000 to be put on the bed. And once it gets hot and starts warping the bed, and then you got underneath, you got all your beams, then your hydraulic lines, your cylinders, they're all being bent, torqued. I mean, these cars can cause havoc from one end to the other, going top to bottom. But hey, it's an electric car. We're going green. Yeah, you're going green, all right. Go over there and sniff that green fumes that are coming off of it when that thing's burning. It's just like sitting there being around a burnt car. If you ever towed or been around a burnt car, that smell, you get it in your clothes, get it on your uniform, it don't come out. You'd have to take almost 6, 7 washes to get the smell out. And then you're sitting there going, can't put bleach in it. I mean, you can put collar safe bleach, but it still don't kill the odor. I mean, you can still smell it. It's like charred into the fabric of the clothing. And these guys are dealing with these cars that are completely melted down. Where was it? They had a thing somewhere where it looked like one of the I wasn't sure exactly how it started, but it looked like maybe a Tesla or something caught on fire and it burnt like 70 to 100 cars. I mean, it just went, they were all so tight together. And I mean, it just started out, it burnt the crap load of cars. So is that insurance company responsible? Insurance company, I know what they're saying. No, that's a manufactured defect. That goes on the dealer and goes back to the manufacturer. Exactly where that goes. Y'all come on down to South Louisiana. We can have a few to drink and cook some good food. I know, Glenn. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, brother. Definitely working on it. We are going to get there. And the people that asked me to show up for the American Trucker Jubilee Truck Show, I am sorry I was not able to make it. When I looked at it and looked at the timing, I was not able to leave on Friday due to work issues. And by the time if I would have left today, it would have been close to 9 o'clock getting there, and it was already over. Or on Saturday. So I would have been driving there all day and then driving all the way back. But next year, I will put it on my calendar. I will make sure I am there. I will make sure I'll have four days off. So I'll leave early, take off Thursday, leave, do a halfway ride, stay at my cousin's, which is half the ride. That's a 5-hour ride from here. So then it's another 4-hour ride there. And then I'll probably pick up my cousin, and me and him will ride the rest of the way, and we'll go over there and enjoy the show. And I know Vin Brown, which is Mr. Bullsnot, was giving out trophies at that truck show. I don't know exactly who all got trophies and got Bullsnot trophies, but there was Bullsnot trophies being given out. You've probably seen him on Facebook on his page, and it's the Bullsnot guy. If you look him up, it's the Bullsnot guy on Facebook. And I know he was giving out pictures and trophies and stuff. So you might want to check it out, see what kind of fun he had over there this weekend. I know he probably left this morning, probably around 8 or 9, and headed home. So he can go back doing the main job. Michael says, I hate to see highways. I hate to see how highways are going to look with scrap yards because of the electric vehicles sitting along the roads. You know, and it's already getting bad enough that we're already seeing regular cars. Now you're going to start seeing hybrids. The only thing that you haven't really seen break down that much is the hybrids. Why don't they just stick with the hybrids for at least 20, 30 years and make sure those are fine-tuned, and then maybe work into the electric? Every single one of them, Honda, Kia, Mercedes, Volkswagen, BMW, are all coming out with electric cars this year. Chevy, and I hate it because I like Chevy and I like Dodge. Dodge just come out with the new Charger. It's a all electric. How is that going to hold up? Just saying. It's a new concept car, just like the new electric Cadillac. Have you seen the price on the new electric Cadillac? Wow. You really have to be almost a millionaire. That thing is $179,000 to $240,000 for a car. I go buy a semi for that brand new right now, non-electric. And just like the Peterbilts, and they're having problems because Peterbilts, if you look at the newer Peterbilts, look at them. They no longer have the digital dashes in them. Why? Because they're having so many problems with the digital dash freezing up and screwing up that they're taking them out and actually going back with a different dash. They're actually putting them back in. Might be digital gauges, but they're not having that digital display in them. I mean, they should have figured that out when Kenworth did it in 2012, 2013. And they worked for about a year, and then they quit working. And then it said it needed to be updated. So they could do an update, $1,000. And then it works for 6 months, and now it don't work at all. So, I mean, we got 2 of them that have them. We decided just to take them out of there and block in the back panel. So that way, if we wanted to, we add more lights and strobe bars. And that's what we're going to use for toggle switches. I mean, it's ridiculous. with all this stuff that we got going on. Why do we have to keep putting it up? John Free says, it is as bad as a skunk when you get when you get sprayed. The smell, I mean, it really is the smell of dead carcass of a car, or even the smell of the new Tesla from the battery where it burn it and it's half aluminum. I mean, it's like Ford went with the aluminum trucks. I mean, I want a truck that if it catches on fire, I can sit there and go, okay, put it out. I can put a new paint job on it, replace the wiring harness, pull the motor or tranny out of it, fix a few things, but I still have that same truck. But when Ford made them aluminum frame, aluminum bed, aluminum cab, they caught on fire. What they do? They melted down on the side of the road. All you got, and how even they were using aluminum blocks, aluminum transmissions. The transmissions are aluminum house. The casing's all aluminum. So when it got hot, it just melted. So all you ended up was a couple of gears, maybe a couple of pistons, maybe I don't know if they're still using the cast iron heads or cast heads. They could be. But I mean, here you are with a melted vehicle on the side of the road. Hey, I just spent $90,000 on it, and all I got is a scrap of aluminum that I can pick up and put in a loader bucket, or actually in a Bobcat bucket, and then try to melt it down to a silver block or aluminum block and use it as a yard ornament. And then you got to go back and spend another $80,000-$90,000 on another truck. I mean, that's the reason why the insurance companies are not dealing with them that much. They're not. When you want that insurance, it's costing you a lot more for that Ford or for the Tesla, because most of them are built out of aluminum chassis, because they're trying to get the lightweight so the batteries can take up that counterweight, because the batteries in a Tesla car weigh 5,000 to 6,000 pounds. All right. Now the ones in the semi, we've already done the estimates. They're in between 8,000 and 10,000 pounds, and there's 2 cycle units on it. So just by the batteries by themselves, 20,000 pounds, and then you got the rest of the truck. It's another 7,000 to 8,000 pounds. So when you get this truck, and that's without a sleeper on it, this is a day cab now, 26,000, 27,000 pounds. So you might as well round it to 30. Then your trailer's another 3,000, 4,000. So you might be able to carry a 30,000 pound payload. You're losing money. And the products ain't going to get it there where they need to be, because you're not going to be able to carry all the product that they needed for that store that they ordered or to that customer, because the truck's too heavy. You got to do more frequent stops. And hello, Miss Debbie, which is Las Vegas, baby. Good to see you. Happy Halloween. Super Trucker for Halloween. Yes. You're right on that. Michael says, worst smells to get out of a bunker gear, because he used to be a firefighter, was burnt wire and rubber from the burnt vehicles. Yeah, it gets on you. You can lean up against it. The housing, the wiring, the rubber. I mean, I used to have to tow them after they caught on fire and still soak them wet, having to hook them up. I mean, you get the black charcoal all over you. It looks like you've been playing in black soot out of a fireplace all day. And you can only be around it maybe 10, 15 minutes, and you'll look like that. Yeah. Michael says, hell, my smart screen and my dash I have pulled the fuses out to reset it. Look at it. He's got a brand new truck. And here he is for that smart screen. That's what I'm talking about. The new computer, the new smart screens. They're having so many issues with them that the 2023s, they quit putting them in the trucks. They're now all gauges again. Yeah, that's because they're having an issue with them, because they can't handle the jarring, the beating, and staying constantly on that long. It's like be like me having my TV on 24/7, 7 days a week. Sooner or later, it's going to fry. It's just going to give up the ghost. It's just going to say, Nope, sorry. Too hot, too long. Not doing it. What's up, Mr. Josh Bolton? How you doing, brother? Our brother from Australia is in saying hello. What's up, brother? Good to see you. We're talking about the electric trucks. Tesla just got approved here in the United States from for the EPA. From the EPA, they're giving them the green light certificate to go ahead and start sending out their trucks. Start sending them out. And the first ones that are getting trucks are PepsiCo, which is Pepsi Cola. Pepsi Cola company, which is PepsiCo, is actually supposed to be getting 250 trucks, and they are the first customers to start receiving their trucks December 1st. But we already have a few Pepsi companies around that have already received them, but they ain't been able to run them until they got the certificate and the approval from the EPA, because it's amazing how that works. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, they got approved. Here, I'll pull it back up. Hang on a second. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull it right back up for you. Yep. And it's not that it's done that way. They've been approved. Yeah, here. There it is. Actually, let me flip it around so you can see it a little better. Yep. Tesla newly announced semi-truck deliveries dates may actually be real this time, which they are real this time because the EPA gave them the green light. So they've already started shipping trucks out. They will be sending out the new Tesla trucks. And Pepsi, like I said, Pepsi Cola's the first ones. And they'll be getting them on December 1st. Sorry, folks. My mouth's getting a little dry. Yeah, right here. Elon Musk announced earlier this month that the Tesla semi-truck deliveries are slated to begin on December 1st, 2022, with PepsiCo as the first fleet customer to receive their electric rigs. This is the third time the company has announced that the immediate semi-truck delivery, with the announcements as were also made in 2020 and 2021. However, this time may be different because the EPA is done giving them the go-ahead to go ahead and send these things out. The EPA granted the Tesla Semi a certificate of conformity on September the 29th of 2022. Which will remain valid until December 31st, 2023. So, yes, they just got approved. They are there. They're in the middle of it. Michael says, same as my double-framed heavy haul truck with lift axle and just a day cab, and most of my loads are permitted for my weight. Yeah. And they are. You know, your quad axle, which is your 4-axle truck, weighs less than that truck does empty. Yeah. You can have your truck fully fueled and everything, Michael, and your truck probably pulls in about 22 to 25, and it's still fully fueled, weighs less than that Tesla truck, and it don't even have a motor or transmission in it. Imagine that. Just saying. Josh says, tow truck companies are going to make a lot of money now. Well, here's the thing. They haven't even come out on that. Hang on, guys. I'm not trying to be rude, but I got to have a little something to drink. Mouth is getting dry. Sorry. I'm trying not to spill it on myself. Let it fizz up for a second. I'm hitting the air brake so you can hear it. Yeah, here's the thing. They haven't even talked to the towing companies about how to tow these things. So They're all electric motors, no power. They automatically lock up like a hydrostatic dozer or a bobcat skid steer. Long, there ain't no hydraulics to it. It locks up. You have to drag them. All right, so the same thing. And from what I'm understanding, these things are also, in some cases, all wheels pull. In some cases, but the ones that I think Pepsi-Cola is getting are the ones that are just on the rear wheels. Are just on the rear wheels. So you might be able to pick it up and be able to lock the steering wheel. But here's the problem. If you're having battery issues, what are you going to do with this thing? These things are locked up. You're going to have to figure out how to take the electric motor gear out of these wheels. They're not even saying that some of these are air supplied, because now that, if you noticed, some of your trailers now are coming with an option to turn off air and let them freestyle, or some of them are coming that are all electric brakes. I've been reading that. I've been reading on some of that too. So that's something else that we could be talking about. But your trailers are some of your trailers are coming fully electric with the electric brakes. I don't know how good this is going to work or how well that's going to work, but that's what they got in them. And this is some of the things that some of the, as they call it, Mission X or Project X that they're working on. I have seen some of it. I've seen, I got a utility trailer up in Virginia, which is maybe 45 minutes from here. I've seen some of their stuff that they've been working on up there around the plant. I haven't been in the plant, but I've been up there around it and seen some of them and looked underneath. Just looked. Some of them are designed a whole lot different than you think. Michael says, my only has Pete Smart nav screen with XM and it freezes up constantly. So I would hate digital dashes. Well, you know, you can always go digital, but the digital dash is that smart screen that sits right in front of you in the steering wheel or on the other side of the steering wheel. So when you're looking at some of your gauges, then you got the smart screen right there. And if that's where your XM is and it's built into that smart screen, smart nav, whatever, that's where they're having the problems. And when you're having it freeze up, that's a problem, because when it freezes up, it heats up, could cause some damage or cause other things to go wrong. Roger says, yes. How do you disengage from the motors? Yeah, the only way you're going to be able to disengage from the motors is you're going to have to hook up the truck, chain the frame, and then you're going to have to lift it up. And then you're going to have to get under there and should be able somehow, you're going to have to pull that motor from that wheel, pull that gear assembly from it, because it's running. You know, I mean, it's running off a gear assembly to make it run. And it goes in there just like a triplex gear. You got gear, like a triangle. And this thing goes in the middle and turns it. So which turns the wheel, which gives you a constant pull without tearing up. It's a little nicer design. But how many times you're going to be able to pull that apart and then put it back and taking it back to Tesla? Where's the nearest Tesla dealer? That means if they get broke down here, that means they would have to take them back to Knoxville. Maybe if the Tesla dealer there can deal with them. If not, they'll have to go to somewhere special, probably Chattanooga, maybe Nashville, somewhere to get these things fixed. Or they may have to go to Atlanta, depending on who's got them. Yeah, towing companies are going to make a fortune off of this. But are these things going to be bad enough that they're going to have to write a bill for 2 trucks? Because now they're going to have to send out a lowboy, a Landau lowboy. use the wrecker to slide it up on there, set it down so they don't have to tear it apart, set it up on there, lock it down, chain it down, and then send the low boy to go deliver it to the plant or back to the dealer or wherever it needs to go get repaired. And then you got the rotation truck that's there trying to load it. So that means you're going to have 2 trucks. Now you're paying for a truck and a land dog plus a rotator or a 50-ton, depending on and what kind of needs do you need to have this thing so you're not screwing up any sensors in the front because they're gonna sit low. I mean, these are the different things that we're having to look at. How are you gonna do it? Okay, skull drag. Second, then yes, that's what I say. I just drag it down the road till the wheels pop, but you can't do that. But the smartest way, if you got something like that and not knowing what, and they're not telling you, the best way is having a Landau or detach and sit there and have it come out, and then have a 50-ton or a 30-ton rotator pick it up and slide it on the truck. Or depending on the situation, if you can't pull out from under the trailer, so that means you're going to have a rotator there, which means you're going to end up blocking traffic because he's going to have to sit across from it in between the cab, run his lines out, hook up the trailer, and then unhook the pin, and then slide this thing back, and then try to hold it up because you're going to have to hold it from the legs, and then hold this thing up and get it away enough from the truck so you can set it down and then be able to get to the rear of the truck with the rotator and then pick it up and then move it forward so you can get another truck back under there to hook it up and haul it away. So now you're looking at, now you got rotator fees, now you got a Landau fee. So this is really going to turn into some major money. You're right. Yeah. I mean, it's just the way it's going to look. Roger says, laugh out loud, underload. It's going to be spending. Definitely. Just like I said, it's going to cost them a pretty good chunk of money. And I hate to say it, but that's what it's going to come down to. So is this truck really worth you buying? Me? No, it's not worth it. It's in the long run, it's going to cost me more. Yeah, it might be nice and save me part of my fuel bill. All right. My company's fuel bill right now is probably, I want to say $40,000 every 2 weeks. So $80,000 a month fuel bill. And that's running, and that's just green diesel. Not even including red diesel. We get about 7,000 to 8,000 dumped at the yard every 2 weeks. And that's what it's costing. The price has gone up that much. And you wonder why a lot of these construction companies are not doing a whole lot, not going very far, because the fuel prices are eating them alive. But it's a tax write-off when you run green diesel and off-road equipment, because then you get a break because you're using more expensive fuel. So then you get what it would be. It's a whole big old numbers game, and I ain't going to get into that tonight. But yeah, but that's the way that works too. Also, if the truck is full electric, what if you couldn't lock the steering wheel to tow it? That's why I said you would have to probably put it on a Landau, or better known as a toter. You'd have to put it on a Landau. I mean, I do, and I have seen them, but they're expensive. But I have seen them. I have seen dollies for semis, but they are expensive. They're 10 grand, if not a little more, for dollies for semis. Because just regular car dollies are $1,400, $1,500, depending on what you get. I like steel. They're a little cheaper, but they're a lot stronger. Aluminum, you can use aluminum. They're nice. They're speedy. They're quick. They're not as loud. They're easier to carry. You can throw the dollies out, run them. But if you put an F-250 on one, you can watch them sag. They just go bend because they're not meant for that kind of weight. They're meant for small cars, small pickups, little 1,500, something that's mom and pops type of runaround. If you're doing anything bigger than that, you need to use steel. And if you want it to be smart, get the larger wheels on it, because most of them come with the little 12-inch or 14-inch, or the little, the little tires on them, about the size of a lawnmower tire. But if you're going to be smart, I go with the 12 or the 14-inch. They actually have a 14-inch upgrade for them. You can actually put those on there. It gives you a little higher ground clearance, and it gives it a lot better on the tire, because the tire has a bigger, what do I want to say, radial bands in it. They're meant more for running long distance. So just saying, might be something if you guys are looking into it, if you're tow truck guys. But can you imagine if you had to come out and dolly one? I already figure on a truck like that, because you're going to have to get underneath there and jack it up to keep, so you don't mess up with any of the sensors. So you're going to deal. All right, so now you got a man out there with a jack. That's a specialty tool. So there's a $50 to $75 easy. Then you back under it and hook it up. That's for a Tesla, probably going to be a little more. So you figure $150 for the hookup, and then you got to go into the back, and then you got to throw dollies on the rear of it. So I figured the dollies would probably be another $150, $200. Yeah, because you're going to have to pick up the truck with the tow truck, slide the dolly, set them up, slide them underneath it, set it down, then go back around to the front, rehook up to the front, get it up in the air, and take off and strap it in, make sure everything's good, and then ride down the road. But I'm just saying, this is some of the stuff that we got to look at. Michael says, are they going to be planetary drivers? Will be a real pain because of the size of the final drive. Hey, yeah, they're going to be they're something like that. I mean, it's like a gearbox. It's pretty much an electric motor. It's about I'd say about the size of a 1 gallon jug of milk is about the size of that motor, and then it's got a gear that runs in, and it runs into a almost like a triangle planetary set of gears, and then it locks in and it turns them, which turns the axle and driveline. So there's no miscommunication or misconnection on it, so it rotates it. But yeah, it's an aggravating thought and aggravating getting into it. Michael Roger says, plus most of them have super singles. Yeah. What are we going to do about that? Well, from a towing company perspective, you get one of those and blows it out, wraps around that motor, rips that motor off. Let's say it just loses it. Tire comes off, catches it. It's not air driven, it's electric driven. You rip that motor off. Now you got electrical sparks going everywhere. It decides to say short circuit, shut everything down. And then here you are with a locked up truck in the middle of the interstate or out in the middle of a 2-lane road. And now you got a hazard. Yeah. Just saying. There's a lot of issues that you can run into just on just some of these scenarios. And some of them, I guarantee you, they probably have ran into them and tried to figure it out. But, just because you figured it out and you don't tell everybody else, people are going to make you pay for what they had to figure out. Plain and simple. Here's a fun fact. All right, what's the fun fact there, Mr. McDuck? No lockers, only one set of drives work. Others are for distribution. Well, yeah. If you're going to do it that way, then you can use and then probably that middle axle, it's the rear drive that drives. And then the middle probably is a lift axle. So it's just pressured by airbags for weight, like you do on a dump truck or a heavy haul, to give you the extra weight to equal it out on the truck. So yeah, you're really in a major bind. So you're still going to have to do it. But on the ones that I've been seeing, all four axles in the rear, or both axles, all four tires have motors to them. So they all turn at the same time. So it pulls at the same time, is what I've been seeing. I don't know if Nikola is doing it different, but that's what I've seen. It was a real blitz to load onto a trailer. Oh, so you actually loaded one on a trailer. No lockers, one set of drives, work. Others for distribution. Ooh. Did you say you finally got your trailer yet? No, it's a stationary. Ooh, stationary. Yeah, that's a nightmare. Unless you're around a forklift or a loader to where you can hook a chain to it and pick it off the ground and get it enough to where you can roll it. Yeah, I can see it being a real pain in the rear. Josh says, our boy from Australia, I am going to laugh when Tesla releases the truck in Australia and it falls flat on its face. Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they will release it in Australia because of the simple fact you guys run through mud and water. Yeah. On some of your Aussie trails out there. Yeah. On some of your road trains. Can you imagine it trying to pull a road train? I mean, it's probably got the power to pull it, but by the time you do that, you might as well go at 75 miles up the road and go ahead and have a charging station because it done used most of its kilowatts to get the load moving and moving it quick. I'm just saying. And where are you going to put out there in the middle of no man's land? Where are you going to put a charging station? Because they're talking here. If you go back up there, Josh, in some of the comments, they're talking in my earlier comments that they were actually saying that they're putting them out 100 to 150 miles in between service stations. So if you hit one truck stop at 150 miles, you recharge, you got enough to get to the next one. So now you're doing 150-mile relay. You ain't making no time. You're sitting an hour, you drive for an hour and a half, and then you sit for another hour and you drive another hour and a half. The day production is gone out the window. You're screwed. You ain't gonna make no money. The company might make money because it's a deal for them, because now they can say, hey, it's gonna take us longer. Y'all, the government's making us go green, so you're gonna have to pay a little extra for what these trucks are doing. So if you want it ordered, you better order extra, and hopefully we can get a truck or another truck to you. Just saying. And that's what it kind of looks like. On that note, we're going to take a little break here. And we're going to go from, let's see. Let's take a little break. Putting it to the ground. Putting it to the ground. Yep. Putting it to the ground. They were having fun. That was last weekend. I know there's some other stuff that we got coming in on that. I just haven't been able to pull it up just yet. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. Got to go over to the other page. Hang on. Because it has been taken off of that page. Yep. Where'd it go? And this is from our sponsor.
Coming at you live and in color from Mount Airy, North Carolina, home of Bottomley Enterprises. And let's check it out real quick. Hold on. Soon to be Mayberry Chrome Shop. September 30th and October 1st, we're going to have a huge truck show here at the compound. Last year, we raised $351,000 for the Brenner's Children's Hospital over in Winston-Salem. We plan to double it this year.
Let's get 600 plus this year for the Brenner's Children's Hospital, y'all. That is my goal.
We already got over 500 trucks pre-registered for the show. Are you in?
I'm in, and they're going to be anywhere between 700 plus trucks here. We got over 500 trucks right now at register. And last year we only had 150 at this time. Boys, this is going to be badass. It's going to be a lot more trucks. Last year there was only 150 registered at this time. We got over 500 today registered for the Mayberry Truck Show. Come September the 30th.
I know it's an old one. I tried to get a better one on there, but I've been going through trying to change up and get new ones in. I just ain't been able to get it on there. Where'd it go? There, y'all need a good laugh. This sounds like Justin.
My music hits me so hard, makes me say,
oh my God.
Yep, that's what happens when you get a hold of that TA Burritos or at the Loves Burritos. I mean, they can do the same thing to you. Just saying. All righty, what do we got? Hey, we got Ron in here. What's up, Super Dog? Good to see you, brother. That's Ron. He's Mr. Hot Wheels on TikTok. He's now over there. He's Mr. Hallahan. We call him I'm Almost Famous. Yeah. No. But I'm messing with you, Ron. Just like I always do, and I always mess with Kelly, too. Same thing. Yep. What is that, Michael? Michael says, have a good night, bedtime. Yes, sir. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Maybe I'll catch you passing through. I know you're headed to Texas to go pick up a pretty old lady. A pretty lady. Well, she might be a good-looking lady. I mean, as long as she runs. Yes, sir. Let's see. Yeah, that definitely won't work here. Yeah, you're right, Josh. And I don't think they will. Now that they're sending them out, we're going to see how they handle here because the cars and that here are already bursting into flames from being in salt water. And guess what? Spontaneous combustion. But then we're sitting here. We're going to deal with semis. They're going to be running through snow. And if they're getting them here, because I know it snows here, we salt here. So I can just imagine we're going to have issues with one of them catching on fire or something else going wrong with it. I can see it. Well, I know. That's what we're talking about, Ron. Yeah. That's what we're talking about, brother. Yeah. Yeah. Electric trucks ain't going to work here. But guess what? Tesla done released it. As of December 1st, PepsiCo gets the first 250 of their trucks. The EPA gave them the green light to go ahead and start distributing the trucks out, start sending them out where they need to go. 250 of them are already going to Pepsi. Pepsi here should be getting them. Kelly said there's 2 already sitting down in Tallahassee at PepsiCo. I'm saying they're getting ready to start sending them out. And like I said, if the cars are dealing with salt, and we're going to be dealing with salt here, and these things are busting in the flames from salt water, I can just imagine what snow and salt's going to do here. Because when it gets packed up underneath there and gets up into the battery covers and it melts and then rolls down in there, you're rolling on a ticking time bomb. That's what we've been talking about. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be working on those for how long now? Well, they've been doing it since 2020. 2020, 2021. Now, the EPA is finally giving the green light that they can put them out. And that was the biggest thing they were waiting on, was the certification from the EPA saying that they were good to hit the highways. And now that they've gotten it, and that now that certificate, that confirmation is good for December 31st, 2023. So it's a year and a month or a year and 3 weeks or whatever they're getting it. That they're going to do it. And they already sent some of them out already. So yeah, they're going to be here soon. Josh from Australia says, Electric trucks won't work here. That's a fact. The only reason why Tesla is pushing it is because of the money. Yeah, well, he's pushing it, trying to get the cells out so he can make up the money for buying Twitter. He's got to. That's $44 billion he just spent. So, yeah, he's got to make it up somehow, and this is the best way to make it up. John Freese Teddy Bear says, I like to see what is going to what's going to do a fair in Minnesota in our county. You mean county or country? In our country. When I get a 45 below and that liquid chloride on the freeway system. Yeah, gets on the freeway. I'm telling you, it's going to get mixed in with that snow and then all the wind and everything that's coming off of these tires. It's going to get slung all up in the cab. It's going to run down, drip down, go in behind the cab. It's going to get into these battery packs because there's 2 8,000-pound battery packs, one underneath the cab and one behind the cab. So you're going to have that. It's going to have a catwalk. So all that stuff is going to get into them. Just like the salt water got into the Teslas and they started bursting into flames with people driving them in Florida, and towing companies won't touch them because they're burning on their beds. They can get them put out and then go 10 miles down the road and it's back into flames again. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Keep that long hood as long as you can. Keep it as long as you can. I don't see Rob sitting there going, nope, I'm going to get me an electric truck. No, I don't see Rob doing that. Nope. No, that'd be like cussing Rob. I don't feel like cussing him because I ain't going to tell him or even mention or hint that he's going to get an electric truck. Ain't no way. Ain't going to do it. That's the reason why his golf cart's even gas. He didn't get an electric golf cart. Josh says, me too. I'm keeping the long hood. Yep. Ron says, brother, just wanted to hop on and say hi. It's been a while. I've been super busy. Got a lot. Get some sleep. Yeah. Got to go get some sleep, brother. Exactly. I know exactly. Get you some sleep. At least you know where I'm at. You can find me. Now you know I'm on here. So you know where all the other episodes are back on there. I may go ahead and replay one of the older episodes and bring it back in on a Saturday and then do another show on Sunday. So that way y'all can rehash out on some of the stuff that we've gone over and over the years. So, yeah, brother, get you some sleep. I seen you were hanging out with Kelly today, and both of them trucks look pretty. They were definitely looking right on the A game. So take it easy, brother. Hopefully I'll see you somewhere passing at some time. Josh says, I love my Jakes too much to go electric. Hey, you ain't kidding. They ain't no other. I mean, can you imagine this thing running around? Here you are with an electric truck, and it goes around. Sounds like the Jetsons when you hit the Jake brake on it. What the hell? This thing blowing bubbles? Yeah, I can see it now. I can just see it now. This thing's going to sound like the damn electric charger. That weird, crappy sound. I can just imagine it. I can see it. Ron says, hit me up and let me know. Yeah, I'll send you the pics of them. All right, brother. You get some rest. I will see you. Hopefully, I will catch you running up and down because I definitely want to get some video footage of that nice 389. That is a beautiful color, too. I'm just glad you made it to the top and just stay at it. All right, folks. I know I've been on here. It's now 10 o'clock, United States Eastern Time. Hold on, I got another comment. What comment say? Alicia says electric plus Jake's spitting sparkles. You're right, Alicia. Yep. Ron says electrics plus Jake's spitting sparkles. Yep, exactly what it would be. Exactly, brother. And that's the way it is. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to give you this as a thought. and then we'll exit out. But some of y'all may want to hear it.
You know, there's one thing I've figured out is that you're seeing this video for a reason. There's absolutely no reason that this video made it to you if you didn't need to hear something that's in it. So you don't have to like, you don't have to follow me, but I'd like you to listen for just a minute. You know, you can't make other people see your worth if you don't know your own worth. And if you're trying to force other people to see your worth, just goes to show me that you don't even know how much you are worth. You're worth the world. You're worth more than $1 million. You're worth God letting you be here for another day. And that's worth more than $1 million. That's worth more than anything in this world, is knowing that God loves you enough to wake you up in the morning. That means that you still have a purpose to be here today. Let me tell you something, the pain that you're going through right now, the pain that you're going through, it ain't for no reason. You're going through everything that you're going through for a reason. You make mistakes for a reason. And as long as you make those mistakes, you're learning something. You learn from mistakes. Mistakes are meant to be made. How are you supposed to learn anything in this world if you don't make mistakes to learn from? You know, your parents raise you up from being a kid, and then once you become an adult, you know, depression starts kicking in, anxiety starts kicking in. You know, your body starts aching as you get older. You know, there's been many times after I lost my family that I just wanted to die. I'm not even going to lie to you. I wanted to lay down and I wanted to die, but every morning I woke up. Every morning I woke up. You know, I was coming back from our farm probably 3 months ago, and my left arm started hurting me real bad. Well, I had a heart attack, wrecked my truck at 26-year-old in the middle of nowhere. There was only one person I wanted to be at that hospital with me, and she didn't show up. She didn't call me. She didn't check on me. She didn't nothing. You know, and that's whenever I discovered anxiety was after that. So I'm fighting anxiety on top of depression from losing my family and trying to find my own way. But let me tell you something. I pray in the mornings and I pray when I go to bed. And I pray for God to help me every single day. And I pray for God to help me sleep good every single night along with my child too. And God does that for me. You can beat depression. And you can beat anxiety. And you can beat it with prayer.
Man speaking truth. I know some of you guys may not want to hear it, but I thought it needed to be said. And it's something to believe in and something to listen to. So, and I do want to say, Bull Snot, y'all go out and get some Bull Snot. Best stuff on the product, best product on earth that I can say. The glass cleaner, the tire butter, the Dashable. I'm just telling you, he's got so much stuff. And then the waxable. I use the waxable on my trucks. They gleam and shine. They're just beautiful trucks, and they really look good. Like Josh says, wow, that hits home. That's so true. And it is. It really is. And like John says, it's the truth. God bless. God bless you, John. Glad to see you out here. You've been trucking for 44, 45 years. Been in that seat. 45 years. You've seen things come and go. You've seen a lot of things happen out here. And you're still a kind-hearted, gentle spirit that loves everybody. And we love you, John. That's why we call you the teddy bear. Yeah, Josh, that does hit home. And I'm glad you stopped in. And, you know, like I said, some people may need it, some people don't. But that's something I play it every once in a while. But it was just something that played on me today. And I thought, I'm like, hell, I need to play it. Someone else needs to hear it because They're going to need it. So, yeah. But tonight, y'all, peace out. I love y'all. I'm glad y'all stopped in. You come in, hung out, and listened to me ramble for an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. And I love y'all. I do. I love you all with the bottom of my heart, every single one of you. I know a lot of you have sent me friend requests, and I've been on there trying to get to them. It's just doing this, doing other things, work. I'm trying to get to them as quick as I can. So if you all just be patient with me, I will have them, and we will have all the friends and everything. I'll get that all done. And if you guys can, please like and share this out. Share it out. Share it out in your groups. Share it out with the people you know. Someone new say, hey, you need to check out Left Lane with Lefty. Here's something you might want to see. I have other podcasts that are on the groups. They're in the pages. That are on the pages. They're also on YouTube. They're also on Twitter. So if you can't remember, just say, hey, go to YouTube, look up Left Lane with Lefty, send them to them. I'm just saying, everybody needs a little something. And they do. They do. So on that note, I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Safe travels tomorrow. Michael, safe travels to you tomorrow, brother. I know you're going to be running to Texas. And same thing with you, Ron. Same thing with you, Kelly. All you guys. Y'all have safe travels. Be safe. Hope to see y'all again this weekend, this coming up weekend. Let me know if you do. Just hit me up on my personal page. It's Charles Bundy. Or you can hit me on Left Lane with Lefty. Hit me up on the DM. Let me know if you guys prefer Sunday nights. I think Sunday nights are a little better, and it's a little more calming. People can sit and actually take the time instead of being in a truck on a Saturday, and then you're trying to get other things done. You're coming off of 34, you're going on a 34, and you want to talk to your family, at least on a Sunday at 8 o'clock. I let you all have y'all time, and then I appreciate y'all taking the time out to come and hang out with me. And like I said, the video I put up for the starter is some of the new work that I've done, some of the new graphics I'm using. So it's actually working out pretty well. So yeah, just let me know. Love y'all. And I'll leave you out with this one. And you can't go wrong with old school cab over in a Pete.
Sure don't know, I know a turd.